the comfy cozy up. So we're trying to get back into vlogging, guys. Reading vlogs and craft stuff. So I'm reading Fanny Hill, Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure, John Cleland. This is considered the first ever erotic novel, and it was published back in 1748. So this I thought I was able to use for Victober, but it is before the Victorian era. So nevertheless, I'm loving this. Now I did finish this 6th book this week, over the weekend, of the Salacious Players Club series by Sarah Kate, and let me tell you, this book, there are some similarities. I am a little bit like of certain things because was published back in 1748. This is also I believe, if I'm not, correct me, if it's not the #1, it is definitely in the top 5 most banned book of all time. And I can tell you, I understood that very well. The first 9 pages of this book, guys, there was so much happening that I was kind of like, this is published in 1748. It was that reaction, because in my mind, it was very daring, it was very bold, it was very much modern day book that would have been a thing. So much less a book published at that time. This is really about a woman in letter form, where she's telling her life. She's talking about her life in terms of her sexual history. So you're learning how it started and how she did other things to survive, and how sometimes she was put in places where it wasn't even a choice, or she can't even explain her behavior half the time. What I liked about it so far is the fact that it's a time period that this was written, because oftentimes in classics, you never get to hear about the stories of women who have no family, women who are out there on their own. This is a period of time where women could not work. So how do you survive without a husband? And so this is where you get that. There are other things I'm going to discuss later on, but just know I'm more than halfway through. We're way more than halfway through. I don't have that much left, to be honest. But it's still, I think, one of those classic that if you are a romance or erotic fan, you probably should read this. Because there's certain things about this that I felt was like way before its time. Way before its time. And there's certain form of evolve, where we said the modern day erotica evolve, where it dig deeper into certain things that you don't get in this. But then I don't want to say that because I haven't got to the end, but we'll see. One of the things I could say about this book, however, it is poetic. The writing is absolutely beautiful and poetic. Like how he can make certain things sound poetic in this book is just like, what? You knew a man made this. There's also certain terms that was used in this that had me hollering. One of them was the machine. War. Weapon. The way this man talks about the man's organ. It was like he couldn't say the word. Like, he just couldn't say the word. He just has. So anyway, I'm gonna come back to this because the girl gotta get herself ready and go to work. So we will talk about this later. I did start Silas Manor. This is George Eliot. I'm deep in, but not finished yet. And then of course this, I don't know, guys, thinking of a jacket, but then I like it as a dress, kind of like a tuxedo looking dress, but not quite tuxedo, but you know, jacket dress. So I don't know yet, but this is going to be done in denim. I have the denim for it, and I'm literally just going to go straight into denim. I do have another shirt that I cut out the pattern that I wanted to do first, so I don't know. But this was not hard. The only thing is a lot of pleats. a whole, you have two on each side in the front. You have the sleeve that is full of pleats. You have in the back, like, but it gives it a nice shape. It's like this kind of hourglass shape, which I think why I like this pattern so much. And I will show you guys the pattern. I don't know what I did with it. But I'm gonna modify, of course, this a little different in the front. It's not done, so when on me, I have a lot of cleavage, but it's not gonna be like that when it's done. There's another part that's supposed to come here all the way down that I didn't put in yet. So this is where we at with my little craft outfit this week. And it has pockets, guys. The pockets came out so pretty. Yeah, the pockets was perfect. This is, I think, a pattern that was well executed. There's a pattern company I've been trying to use, and I've done 3 outfits from them, and it's just not quite right to me compared to the other ones. And if you can see, I have this fail that I don't know what to do with yet. That fail over there. That I think I might just finish it, because I just have to put the sleeve on and the zip in the back and just hang it up. You never know. Somebody I might come by and like fit this and see if it fits them, because it's just a gorgeous jumpsuit that I don't want to go to waste. So the pattern was definitely wrong, absolutely wrong. Even I always try to measure and look, and that pattern was wrong. I don't know if I got a bad copy, but it's absolutely, I mean, it's not even like a little small. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I did show it on my Instagram story again. And then I made another dress, same company, and the zipper was like right at my crotch. Like, the zipper is supposed to be like in between my knees, almost touching my knees. And I looked again, and I'm like, this is not adding up. So same thing again. Something's off with their measurement, and it's kind of discouraging me a little, because I want to support that company. I won't talk about them. But I've had 4 fails, and I bought all these damn patterns. So anyway, I will see you guys in a few. Yeah, back to the vlogging, guys. Back to the vlogging. Hey guys, so I finished the jacket. I did put a video of it on Instagram, and what I did was I did this Simplicity S9059, and what I did was I did this one, which is B, but I used the button method from C. Now if you see on here, it's, what am I saying? No, sorry. I did, it's the same, but it looks a little longer because it was long on me. It was like the perfect length that could have been a dress, but once I put this side in, it kind of got to a way where I didn't know how to even continue making it into a dress. So I think when I do the denim, I'm going to hack it where I won't put this all the way down. It would just go into a V here and expose zip up. That's what I want to do. I think it will look nice that way, because it really was fitting me nice, like a nice shape of it, before I put this on, where it started now looking like a jacket for real. I did not line it yet. I am going to line eventually, but I'm going to wear it maybe 1 or 2 times now, since it's cold, but it's not like that cold. And I'll probably wear black because it is 100% wool. So it has to be lined because it's one of those where if you don't line it, it gets transferred. And so that's what I'm going to do with it. But I do like how it looks. It's just, it's a jacket. It is my second one for me. I mean, I made 3 jackets, but one I gave to my mother. But this is my, like, first winter, well, cold weather, because I don't know if it's going to be, well, it's wool. It's wool. It's wool. It might be able to wear in cold weather. Depends on what I wear under it. It has room so I can wear sweaters. So I went up a size on it. So this way that I'll be able to do sweaters under it. So we'll see how it goes. But I need a proper press. I really need to like figure out how to get my iron to really get, because I tried and I felt like it didn't do nothing. So I need a proper press so it can come out a little bit more structured and stiff and not bulky looking in certain parts. So that's where we at with this. Now I did finish the subscriber pick for October, which is Fanny Ill. This is John Cleland, and let me tell you, Memoir of a Woman of Pleasure is definitely erotica. However, I see the band situation and why it was controversial is because she was young. She lost her mother and her father to smallpox like when she was about 15. So everything kind of went downhill because she was at the mercy of people who took advantage of her. Now, while you're reading this, you kind of sort of forgot, but there's that naive aspect of it because she's thrown into different circumstances. The first encounter with pleasure was not something she welcomed, but as it happened, she realized certain things about her body were wow. But again, this was controversial because it was not with a man. Then when, of course, things were taken from her in terms of her virtue, it became now a situation where she was basically taken advantage of and put away in a situation where this is survival now. This is the 1700s. You have no parents, you have no family, you are not married. So how do you survive when you have nothing? So this is where the story is a little hard to swallow when you think of the age aspect of her. But it didn't dwell on her age as much until you got to the end. Now, it's written in 2 letters where she's writing to someone. She's older now. You learn at the end how she's able to get herself out of the lifestyle she was living. And so that happened. But there are different elements of the unwanted situation that this madam, because pretty much it's a madam, was making money off her. Then there's the an encounter with a guy that she really liked and fell in love with, but she did not come from the right background, so he was ultimately sent away, and there's that disconnect, but she never forgot. Then there's that funny part with that, because Lord knows the size of the machine, because the girl was very, very taken back by the size of Charles' machine, okay, in this book. And I was hollering because it's how the book is written. It's just, they don't use terms in terms of the modern day erotica. So you're not going to see the D word or the P word. They're literally like using, the machine. They talk about it in terms of the war, weapon. It's the the way that the author wrote these things is you can tell the time, because nowadays these books they're gonna say it flat out. They're gonna say the O and what the O look like. This is talked about in a way that I'm like, oh, clever as hell, but funny, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, but it is definitely still absolutely still erotica, even though certain words were not as vulgar, I guess that's a word to put, as the modern day books. Now with this also, she talks about pleasure in a way of the importance of it and the connection, and I think it was because as she matured and she realized how meaningful or lack of her when she was in her situation, because she realized, and she had that connection, what love is, what actual passion is, and especially when it's with someone you truly want it with. So there's that part in the book where she reflects on that and actually admitted how it can be a bit she could be a bit a hypocrite when it comes to the morale, when she used those same things that she was talking about to survive. Ultimately, she would not have survived if she didn't do some of the things that she had to do. And there's that brothel situation, because it wasn't called that back then, but that ultimately what it was. There was that group setting of watching people, being a voyeur. I literally thought of the Salacious Club while I'm reading this, because there are so many aspects of that series, as erotic as it is, that is in this classics. I'm thinking to myself, you know, when you think of these books, you're thinking they just popped out in the 1900s, not realizing they existed long before that. The idea of inflicting pain on someone in a sexual way, or to help them in that way. It's in the Salacious Club. They talk about it. People getting, tied up and beaten and flogged, and they're going through mental stuff. They're going through grief. They're going through all the things, and they want that kind of pain because of what they're going through. And there's an aspect of that in here where I'm like, yeah. So it's interesting when you think of the classic in that way. I'm so glad Brianna J, you made me put this in the jar, because I've never heard of it, and it also opened my eyes to that genre of novel that is very popular right now. And also, oftentimes you don't realize that they were out there back then. I had no idea this kind of book existed. I was very much naive, and kind of unaware of how far back does classic erotica exist. How far back do we talk? How we have books that has that kind of content, and to know that this was in the 1700s. So, I do see why it's banned. When you think of this, also it is the whole country girl going to the big city and being a prey amongst a bunch of predators. I could see the ban situation. This is definitely not for kids. Absolutely not. But adults, yes. I do feel if you are a true romance, or you like erotic books, pick this up. It's not long. It's less than 200 pages. It reads pretty fast because of what's happening. It's a lot happening. And you kind of just the writing was beautiful, guys. The writing was absolutely beautiful, and I am here for this. So yeah. Now, as far as the last book in the Salacious series, I am a huge fan of how she handled this poly situation. And when you think of the character in this one, she was always there from the beginning, but she's portrayed as the very dominant woman that have done and participated and been there through all these relationships throughout the other books. But you don't know much about her. In this, you discover who she really is. Eden. You get to know her versus Madame the Dominatrix. And but in this, it was a poly in terms of you have this guy that she was involved with, and there was feelings involved at that moment. What should have been just for Kings and for pleasure, hearts got involved, but she had to cut that off because of in the book you learn her past and why she did not want to be in a relationship with anyone. Nevertheless, things happen months down the road where they bump into each other, and he now has a girlfriend who happens to be the daughter of his boss, and she was intrigued by Madame and started to like pursue Madame. And Clay, the boyfriend, is still, you know, caught up in terms of his heart still felt certain way, but he likes his girlfriend. He wants, so it's more of the, they wanted, you know, they both wanted Madame, and Madame was like, I'm not interested in a relationship, but we can play that kind of deal until, you know, they're all one big happy family. I can say. I'm reading these things and I'm thinking of people in real life who are in relationship like this, and it's just, I find it very interesting that jealousy doesn't become a thing, that it is a kink that is like enjoyable for them. I find that very interesting, and because in my mind I would assume there is going to be issue. No. And then I learned some new kinks too, because every book has some kinks I've never heard about that I assume I would know, and it's just not there. But nevertheless, if you are into that kind of book, knock yourself out, because it bring it. And there's a true romance in it. Though it's a little over the top in terms of certain things, there's romance involved, and again, that whole pain and pleasure, it's connected to more than just sex. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna finish. So for this week, for this weekend, I'm gonna start working on my journal mood. So I'm gonna do an envelope journal, and because, you know, this book is coming to the end, guys. My beautiful green journal is a couple of pages left for the month, and so I'm going to have to get a new one. So I'm going to make an envelope, because I'm going to make one just for 30 days, so it would only have one signature in it. And this way I'm also going to make one for Vlogmas and for December. Guys, we are literally at the end of the year, like literally. So I would come back. Yeah, by the way, a journal mood, the calendar would be on my vlog, my blog, and also on Instagram. So if you follow me, the calendar will be up, and I would just let you guys know, shout it out in the little description. But it will be up Sunday the 21st. Yeah. And no, 22nd. Sunday the 22nd, the calendar will be up. And yeah, so I'm trying, guys. It is a struggle to get back into vlogging. It's a struggle. So alright, guys, I'll see you next one. Bye.